This book is entitled Ayn Rand Nation, The Hidden Struggle for America's Soul. It's about Ayn Rand and why she's important today to everybody in America. She is the philosopher of the Republican right. She is the woman who made it moral to be selfish. And that has all kinds of repercussions that are felt today and that matter to everybody. You know, what kind of government are we to have? Are we to have a small government or a big government? It all goes back to Rand, because Rand advocated minimal government. She advocated the smallest possible government, and she made it moral. And I think that's the thing that's really important about Rand, is that she made it moral to have limited government. And she said that it was immoral to have a government that really did anything. Ayn Rand created the Tea Party. Her followers were there at the creation of the Tea Party, but beyond that, Ayn Rand was talking Tea Party long before there even was a Tea Party. I mean, she was talking Tea Party slogans basically in 1964. Ayn Rand had friends. She had well, no, she didn't have friends. She had followers. She had acolytes. She didn't have friends. She had a small cadre of, it was almost a cult-like cadre of followers, and one of them was Alan Greenspan. I spent a great deal of time in the book describing Greenspan and how really closely tied he was to Rand. I call him the Murray Hill candidate, you know, sort of like the the Manchurian Candidate was programmed to go out and assassinate the president in that novel from 1963. He went out when he became, head of the Federal Reserve, and he became the assassin of regulation. You know, he was the most important regulator that we had. And the most important regulator that we had was opposed to the concept of regulation, because he was an Ayn Rand acolyte. The philosophy that selfishness is good is not really a new philosophy. It's sort of been around for some time. But what Rand did is she did two things. First of all, she made it moral to be selfish. Her philosophy was that to be selfish was moral. And she also popularized it. You know, she didn't write philosophical tracts. Well, she did write philosophical tracts, but she mainly wrote novels, very successful, popular novels that are bestsellers to this day. And they made it not only, moral to be selfish, but cool to be selfish. The way to deal with Rand is, first of all, to understand her. I think people have a tendency to, to sort of stereotype or caricature Rand, but to really fundamentally understand her, and also to realize what is the antidote to Rand. The antidote to Rand are American values, the values of the founders. You know, if you read Thomas Paine, if you read Thomas Jefferson, I mean, if you read George Washington's writings, Abraham Lincoln's writings, if you read the writings of the founders of this country, you have everything there to counteract Rand, because these were selfless people. They were unselfish. They believed in altruism. She was against altruism. They set forth a philosophy that is opposed to Rand in virtually every way. I think that Ayn Rand would have bought my book because she liked to know what the enemy was thinking. She might not have endorsed it or given me a blurb, but I think she would have read it. She wouldn't have admitted that she'd read it, but she would have read it because I think she liked to know what people thought about her, and she was actually very sensitive to criticism. And I am critical of Ayn Rand.